Hey, everybody.
Hi, guys. Well, from windy Salt Lake City, Utah,
It's Thank God I'm Atheist.
the podcast.
I'm Frank.
I'm Dan.
Coming up on today's episode, we're going to get into a little bit more of Mormonism. Sort of, or should
yeah.
we say the Latter-day Saint movement.
Or the Church of Christ movement,
yeah.
or the
We're digging into the history. We're looking at some of the offshoots
splinter groups.
of Mormonism.
Oh, it's fun, you guys.
Yeah,
it may. I don't know if it sounds boring, but it gets really wacky really quick.
yeah.
We're gonna have fun with it. It's a delight.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. It's a delightful mess.
It is a god awful mess.
It's unbelievable.
Everything just went crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, you know. I mean, not to get into it yet, but like growing up Mormon, like mainstream Mormon, the big Mormon,
Growing up in
big
the
Mormon.
Hey, what were we going to call it? The downtown church?
I like corporate church.
I'm going to call them the Youngites.
The Youngites.
Yeah.
I like corporate church because it's just kind of it's a little disparaging.
Anyway, growing up in
growing up in
group.
that church, you just you aren't aware of it. I
No.
mean, you know about like the biggins, right?
Yeah.
You know about the polygamists.
Yeah.
And sort of their splintery thing, but you just kind of dismiss them outright.
Right.
Because they're kooky and they're just into that thing.
And that may be all you know about for most Mormons.
For most Mormons, I knew about the RLDS.
Right.
But beyond that, I didn't really know about them. So we're going to get into that.
We're going to learn a lot.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Anywho.
Yeah.
I don't even think I have a handle on it yet. Like,
Well, because it's a mess.
It's just too much.
Like you
It's
could
just
spend
too
your
much.
life just studying these
I'm
things.
sure someone has. There's a doctoral dissertation out there.
That's too bad. I mean, it's interesting and all, but come on.
But come on. Hey, you know, I'd like to go to your youth.
My youth.
Think back to your time in high school. We're in Oklahoma, fabulous Oklahoma.
Fabulous Oklahoma.
Yeah. What do the license plates look like there, Frank? Can you describe them for me?
Well, the current ones, Oklahoma always likes to sort of show off their Native American thing.
Trot
There's
out
tons
the
of tribes.
engines.
Yeah, you know, I mean, the state seal is all Indian-y,
Right.
right? And so now it has a guy, an Indian dude, Native American dude, on it, and I believe he has a bow and arrow drawn.
Right.
Right.
Pointing up at the sky.
Pointing at the sky, yeah.
Because apparently American Indians liked hunting stars.
Mm.
It's sort of a night sky.
I've done that before.
It's actually a lovely little pastiche on there. Yeah. Well, it's not lovely
What?
to Pastor Keith Cressman of St. Mark's United Methodist Church in Bethany, Oklahoma.
Why?
Well, because somehow it has religious significance to the natives. It's the rain god, or somehow related to the rain god.
Oh. Okay.
Not that they really have gods so much. The great rain spirit. I don't know. Whatever it is, it means that all Oklahomans have to drive around with an image of quote. Well, they have to. They're compelled to be a mobile billboard for a pagan religion.
Oh dear God. That's horrible.
Yeah,
He brings up a good point.
he's being forced to advertise for paganism.
Oh no. Is that really the takeaway here? See, seriously, I didn't know that's what it was.
Yeah,
I just thought it was the Native American, like shooting a bow, shooting an arrow with a bow.
That's pretty much what it is. I don't know.
I mean, nobody's making him, put a dream catcher on his rearview mirror.
Which,
I mean, that's not what's happening here.
No. Although he should. He lives in Oklahoma. He should have the dream
It's kind of
catcher.
required. You saw the place.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I saw
a lot
it.
of dream catchers.
It's a dream. The dreams are caught in Oklahoma. Don't kid yourself.
And they stay there. and they die there.
Yeah, exactly. All the dreams of Oklahoma are caught and quickly disposed of
in Oklahoma. They're not allowed to leave. Well, you leave and then you create new ones.
Yeah. Once you get out of the state, you're okay.
You're not going to escape with your dreams intact, though.
No, you got to get new dreams when you get out. Once you get out of Oklahoma, you can start dreaming again.
Mm.
But yes, apparently the image is it's a reproduction of a sculpture, which is in the Smithsonian Institution called Sacred Rain Arrow.
Oh,
it's based on an ancient Chiricahua Apache legend about a warrior who had his bow and arrow blessed by a medicine man for the purpose of ending a drought.
As you do.
Yeah. This guy, so this pastor is freaked out because of a guy who shot an arrow into the air so that he could make rain happen.
Right.
Why do I have to have that on my license plate? Oh my God, shut up. But the lawsuit's going through. A judge has allowed the lawsuit to begin.
Now, this would be interesting because what happened in Oklahoma, and I asked my parents about this because I went to go visit, and I noticed that every single car in the state had this license plate on, and it was not the one that was there just like a year or two prior.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, what is this? This is crazy. How did every single car get it? Well, apparently the state of Oklahoma recalled all existing plates, and it reissued everybody a new license plate so they could all have this image on it.
See, this guy's right.
He is
This
right.
guy is totally right. They are forcing this on him.
They actually literally did.
Yeah.
Now he could opt for some kind of
Vanity
plate, or they have options for like wildlife plates. Like
he can't afford it.
Most other states do.
He's poor.
Yeah,
he can't afford it. He lives in Oklahoma.
He could get one like my mom had forever. She had an abortion one. Actually, it was still on the car, wasn't it?
I'm guessing
Did you
not.
see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was still there.
And I'm thinking
it's
not pro-abortion.
No, it's not like, hey, girls.
Knocked up? There's a way out. No.
Yeah, no.
It's, please don't abort. That's it, and I'm guessing it's a slightly more firm language than please.
Yeah, and I think it has like a little teddy bear on it, right?
Because if you abort, what will the teddy bear industry do? They'll lose money.
They will. There's a teddy bear that's now doesn't have its companion baby.
Right.
Oh, that's sad.
That's really sad.
They were that teddy bear spirit came down from heaven.
There needs to be an anti-abortion campaign of teddy bears crying in toy stores. It's just this slow zoom on this sad teddy bear, and then a single tear drops down its little plush face.
Oh, that's too bad. I really wanted to be raised by a teenage mother.
I know.
Oh.
All right, what do you got?
Well, apparently, this is sad. This is really sad. This comes to us from sort of the auction/art world. Apparently, the images of the crucifixion are no longer pulling down the same prices at auction as they used to. And this is sad,
man. You
for
can't
owners of when people like invested in crucifixion art,
in religious iconography art.
They thought that the value was going to keep going up. Well, apparently, in January, a late 14th century Florentine painting of Jesus on the cross that was estimated to be the value of it was estimated between $80,000 and $120,000, sold at Sotheby's for only $86,500. And an Italian crucifixion from the same period, estimated between $100,000 and $150,000, sold for $110,500 at the same auction.
And you know what this is? This is a good market correction.
The bubble burst.
The Jesus bubble has burst. There's going to be a bit of a Jesus depression for a minute, or a recession. We'll say a Jesus.
We'll see if the government steps in to
subsidize the 16th century Jesus on a cross industry.
Yeah. But this is not the only one. This is the sad one.
Oh no!
This is the one that just like this one shows.
I'm nervous.
So, so this was in January. So in December, Sotheby's London sold a mid-16th century Netherlandish crucifixion sculpture that was estimated between 31,500 and 47,000. They sold it for only 27,500. So even below the estimate.
Yeah.
Like well below.
Well below the low end.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like if you were selling that crucifixion
it's a gut shot.
Sculpture.
That is a gut shot right there.
Mm.
But then again, you have to look at corollaries. This could be a function of people not caring about the Netherlands. It was Netherlandish.
Well, what they're saying is that wealthy Catholics these days don't seem, this is a quote, wealthy Catholics nowadays in general do not seem to be particularly ambitious to crown their art collections with an outstanding crucifix or a painted crucifixion.
Okay. I'm down with this. Frankly, what art should be about is the art. I mean, I guess if you like the subject matter, that's a thing. Mm-hmm. I guess there are those who collect
rude, Dan.
Yeah, well, whatever. There are those who collect like ship art.
Sure.
Like nautical art or whatever.
There's going to be people who are fascinated with one thing. That's great.
Sure. But in general, I mean, if it's a really good Jesus on a cross, I think we should all be able to appreciate it.
I love Catholic shit like this.
Sure.
Like I could spend, and I have spent afternoons in little museums throughout Italy with nothing seriously significant in their collection, but just looking at all the little, triptychs and whatnot, and just, it's so cool.
Yeah.
I love it. I don't know why.
Well, yeah, good art's good art. Yeah. A well-executed painting is a thing to behold.
Yeah.
It's so, I don't care if it's about Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, but then you buy one and then you hang it upside down.
Yeah. But, you buy one and you want the value to go up.
Well,
you want these wealthy Catholics to be interested in this crap.
Nope. It's not. You can't think of Jesus as an investment piece anymore.
That's too bad.
It's falling. The value of Jesus has fallen.
Significantly.
Jesus just doesn't retain his value the way he used to. Anyway.
Oh, that's fun.
There you go. Hey, so I'm looking in North Carolina.
Oh.
Now, as you know, that state has a very solid reputation for being very liberal in its politics. You just agreed with me on that?
Mm-hmm.
You're not thinking. You're not.
No, it's true.
There's liberals.
Liberals abound.
No, they don't. Okay. So here's the deal. In their state legislature, both houses are controlled entirely by Republicans, by the conservatives.
Oh no!
And strangely, the conservatives have been proposing tax proposals that would you'll be shocked by this would raise the taxes of lower and middle income people and lower the taxes of the wealthy.
What?
It's trickle down in the worst way, meaning the rich poop and it trickles down all over everybody.
So the
else.
Taxes trickle down as well.
Yeah, the taxes definitely
tax rate trickles down.
It trickles down and lands firmly at the bottom.
The tax responsibility.
Anyway,
trickles down.
There's a lot of people who are upset about this. So there's been a protest that's been happening for a while, since when? Oh, I read it somewhere. Anyway, it's been happening for a little while, which is that every Monday, they call it Moral Mondays. Since catchy. April 29th, people have been gathering at the Capitol and protesting, calling it Moral Monday. And morality, this is interesting because obviously the Republicans like to talk about how they have the monopoly on morality.
Well, I thought they did.
Yeah, I think
the moral monopoly. I'm pretty sure that's
as it turns out,
game,
morality hasn't actually officially endorsed one or the other party,
right?
Yet,
right.
I'm sure that there will be a statement from morality soon,
right?
On that point.
Okay, cool.
Anyway, so they're doing these Moral Mondays, and suddenly a bunch of Christian denominations are joining in on the Moral Monday protests. Pastors are showing up.
And saying that they agree with the Moral Mondayers?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, I mean, I've been waiting for this to happen. I mean, Jesus was all about, like, protect the poor, don't protect the rich.
Exactly.
That was Jesus's, like, main message, really.
Right. So it sounds like religion's catching up.
A few of the religious leaders are doing it, and they were arrested.
Why? How? For what?
Just for civil disobedience. I think it was either this last Monday or the Monday before. There were more than 480 people arrested, many of whom were clergy.
Wow.
Many of whom had never even participated in Moral Mondays before, and then they just showed up that day.
Got themselves.
Boy, they showed up on the wrong Monday.
Yeah.
Somebody's got a case of the Mondays, the Moral Mondays.
Oh boy. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah,
it's really interesting.
Yeah. So there you go. Nobody expects the legislature to listen to them, but that's but arresting. Lord. I mean, what were they? I don't know if they were throwing rocks. I don't think so. I think they were just yelling. I'm guessing yelling. Hollering.
Did they march in somewhere they didn't belong?
Maybe.
Did they get them on a trespassing?
Unfortunately, I could not find too many sources. Oh, so 84 protesters were arrested for civil disobedience.
Oh.
And then
I hope some of the pastors did.
Yeah, they were.
Good.
They were civilly disobedient.
Awesome.
Perhaps even uncivilly disobedient.
I think it's good when people end up getting arrested for. I mean, not in the sense of like keeping law and order, but in the sense of it really highlights and it brings attention to the issue.
So just to be clear about my numbers, the number 480 that I gave is the total number of Moral Monday arrests to date.
It happened so far. Wow.
But 84 were arrested on Monday.
This Monday.
Yeah. Because apparently there was something that was due to take effect on June 30th. So these guys were showing up.
Interesting.
O's unemployment benefits were going to be cut.
Wow. These people. This sounds like a good state legislature.
Oh yeah. Well, you know what?
It sounds like they're on it.
It's an excellent state legislature if you're rich.
Oh yeah. Sounds like the place to be.
I think they've still got a sort of. It sounds like they've still got a plantation mentality, where it's just like we got to protect our old boys from the, from the government. I say I had a mint julep with Mr. Somebody.
Sweet tea. They have a sweet tea.
We sat out on the veranda and enjoyed a sweet tea together, and he said he talked to me about the onerous effects of taxes on
the wealthy.
On the wealthy.
We decided that we needed to shift this burden to those who can best afford it, because they're not using the money for anything.
He said he was paying
of substance.
Tens of thousands of dollars, while meanwhile these poor people are barely paying any thousands of dollars.
Anything at all.
Hardly a penny. Well, I just don't see the fairness in that, my friends.
He needs to open a business. And what are they doing? Buying PlayStations?
Lazy. They're all
flat screen televisions.
They're all just lazy. Flipping burgers like lazy people. Why don't you start a business like a
working
like
in
a
call
person?
Centers? Oh, there's no call centers in North Carolina. Thank you for calling Discover. How can I help you today?
It's funny. Suddenly, everybody's clamoring for the Indians again, for like the Indian call centers, because they can't stand having their calls fielded by Paula Dean,
who is a racist, by the way.
Paula
Did
Dean?
you see that thing?
No. What did she do?
Oh, allegedly she's a racist.
She
allegedly uses the N-word.
Well,
allegedly was planning a wedding with a plantation theme and was hiring black people to be the slaves to serve the thing.
Oh, Paula Dean. She likes butter, but she hates the Negras. Oh, Lord.
Oh, well, yeah, anyways.
Yeah.
Speaking of this fine country of ours.
Oh, we're in a country. That's true.
A 64-year-old woman from the UK who has spent the last, more than 30 years in the U.S. Her name is Margaret Doughty? Probably Doughty. Margaret Doughty, I'm going to say. She's been in the process of applying for citizenship. I bet a lot of our listeners actually heard this story.
Yeah.
But she is being denied citizenship on the grounds that her morality doesn't come from a religion. She's a conscientious objector.
Right.
And she objects to part of the oath of citizenship that says that you'll take up arms.
Yes.
To defend the country.
Correct.
And she wouldn't want to do that. And she's 64 years old, so she would never need to.
Right.
Most likely. We're in dire straits.
Yeah.
If we were getting 64-year-old women.
All right, send in the granny squad. We ran out of able-bodied young men long ago. We've been doing mostly grandpas and preteen girls. It's time to send in the 60s.
Yes.
It does seem like the white flag would be raised long before we got to that point.
Yeah. Citizenship doesn't count for much at this point. But nonetheless, the whatever.
So she said she was morally opposed to violence.
Mm-hmm. And so the response back from the U.S. government was, well, you need to base that in like that. You can do that. You can be a conscientious objector, but you have to belong to a church that requires you to be a conscientious objector.
Right. Because you can't have morality without Jesus.
Exactly.
Or, Krishna or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah. This is the country we live in. Mm-hmm. This is, it's little moments like these. Like everything seems fine for us atheists, right up until this happens, and then it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like when I read this, I was literally shocked.
I was too. I hadn't thought.
I'm very rarely shocked by these stories. These stories usually don't shock me at all.
Yeah.
And then I read this one, and I'm like, oh, they really don't even think we count as humans.
Yeah.
Like,
they don't think that anybody, like, here's the issue with that is you're not complete. You're not capable of making this judgment call for yourself without there being a religion, without there being people telling you that it's wrong.
And I hear that, you hear that message, you get that message from a lot of religious leaders, you get that message from a lot of people who, like, when you just lay people who don't get that, you can be moral without God. And so, the first time you come out to them as atheists, they're like, well, but what? I just go out and kill myself. What's to stop you from killing somebody or killing, what's to stop you from stealing everything? So you hear that from a lot of like ignorant people. But when the U.S. government endorses the, well, what's to stop you from killing somebody position?
Right.
Oh boy, we still got a ways to go here, people.
Yeah.
There's a road ahead.
Right. This is, it seems to me to be a very clear First Amendment violation.
And you think?
And she has some fairly good ground to stand on.
Yeah.
If she wants to take it that way, which she probably will.
And I think that, and there's, American Atheists is getting behind her. I know that there's some big organizations that are getting behind her on this.
Right. Well, there's a court case, Welsh versus the United States, wherein Elliot Welsh refused to take up arms on a moral objection rather than a religious one.
Right.
However, under the Universal Military Training and Service Act, one could only object to joining the armed forces based on a religious conviction involving a supreme being. The court, however, the Supreme Court, agreed that Welsh could be considered a conscientious objector based on his own personal moral grounds.
Right.
So cases have already been decided that would lead me to believe that she's probably in the end with the right
Right.
You know,
yeah. I mean,
people involved, she's going to be fine. But at the same time, this really highlights an important issue.
Right. And she's been living in this country for how long?
30 plus years.
So it's not like, you know, she has been a productive member of our society.
Oh, yeah.
She's been here. She's been doing it. This was just meant to be a rubber stamp.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they're not fond of us non-believers. They just don't dig it.
Yeah.
They don't. They're poop. They're made of poop. That's my final word on the matter.
Rude, Dan.
Poop.
Well, way to take this to the gutter, Dan.
I'm gonna go even further into the gutter with my next story, though.
Oh, and I'll follow you.
Yay, we're good. Okay. And now begins our quick descent into bullshit. So I'm guessing that if I tell you that I'm about to talk about a Republican representative in Texas, in the state legislature,
currently already bracing myself.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's got a really good new argument for why abortion needs to be able to happen or needs to not be allowed even earlier. Why the window where you can have an abortion needs to be even smaller.
Okay.
Because, well, he's a doctor.
Oh.
And it's to do with masturbation. This one's a good one.
Okay. Who's masturbating?
The fetus.
No.
Yes.
God.
Yes, indeed.
Really?
Apparently.
I've seen newborns. Plenty of newborns. We've all seen newborns.
Yeah. And they like to touch.
Yeah, but a newborn isn't. No.
Here's the deal.
They're not going to be able to pull that off.
Here's the deal.
How does this work?
In ultrasounds, sometimes you can see a little boy, a little male fetus with his hands down on his wiener.
Okay.
And that to him means he's enjoying himself. He's feeling pleasure. And if he can feel pleasure, he can feel pain.
Is that the only time anybody would ever put their hands down in that region is to masturbate? Is that what he's saying?
I guess.
Because has he watched, I don't know, there seems to be sort of some required motion.
He says
it's a kind of a coordinated effort between a few different muscle groups, right? Like,
yeah. I mean, these things can't even grip yet.
Exactly.
But his claim is a 15-week-old baby have movements that are purposeful. They stroke their face. If they're a male baby, they may have their hand between their legs.
What about girl babies? Don't girl babies, you know?
Well, what it points to me is like if the baby's sort of feeling around and there's an implement to grab or to or to check out, as opposed to
they just don't go digging around.
Yeah. I don't know. Hell if I know. All I know is that he is making the case that a 15-week-old baby, if it can feel pleasure, then it can feel pain.
Well, I saw one with a cocktail glass once. So.
That guy was feeling no pain.
Yeah, he was having a good time. He was 3 sheets to the embryonic fluid.
I saw a sonogram of a 13-week-old baby that was weeping.
Oh.
Just crying because it heard about other babies being aborted.
Yeah, I saw that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sad.
That's proof that you can't abort babies.
Yeah.
Because other babies will cry in the womb.
Mm-hmm. I saw one reading the newspaper. It was really sad. Because what was really sad.
You are a liar because now the babies don't have newspapers. They've got iPads. They've got.
What was really sad about it was that it was the Wall Street Journal.
Oh, that is sad.
Oh, no. Poor thing.
You know, the worst part is that most babies, they just read fluff. They read like the Inquirer.
Mm-hmm.
None of them go for the hard news.
Yeah.
Babies are just ridiculous that way.
Well, they're really interested in celebrity news.
I think you should be able to abort.
Having seen so many movies,
right?
They're just fascinating.
I think abortion should be legal or not legal based on what that particular fetus is reading.
Mm-hmm. Well, their opinion on Brangelina. that was.
If I'm sorry, we can't allow this abortion. Your child is reading the Brontes. If they're into the classics, we really have to let this one live. Oh,
are you kidding me? No.
Those
are the ones that the conservatives want aborted.
That's right. They're like, does your child like Honey Boo Boo? Then we're keeping it. You have to keep it.
That's terrible.
My child has expressed pacifist views. You may abort.
Please. Oh, that's too bad.
Well, you know, the other thing that this points out is this guy doesn't realize the can of worms he's opened. Mm-hmm. He's saying that we may have all we may have sins we haven't repented for because we may have masturbated in the womb.
Oh, my God. And we don't remember.
Right. How am I supposed to atone for sins that I don't even know I committed? Who knows what else I did in there?
I've heard of twins killing their twin.
I could have blasphemed in the womb and not known about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, murder? Sure.
Murder.
Sure.
Murder in the womb.
which was the name, I think, of the film that Hitchcock was going to make right before he died. Oh, like it was in pre-production. No. It was ready to go.
Yeah.
Murder in the Womb.
Yeah. Oh, it was good. He had some great shots planned for that one.
It's a sequel to A Womb with a View.
Dan. Boy, you did take this to the gutter.
Okay, fine.
Way down. Way down.
Yeah, let's see where you go.
Well,
someone tells me it's no better.
This comes to us from USA Today. That's a good start.
That is a good start. You know, I read that when I was in the womb. I don't know if you know that.
Well, yeah. The charts help. The fetuses.
It's very visual. It's nice.
Who don't have eyes yet. Actually, eyes form really early, don't they? But anyways. The headline says, Conservative Mom Slam Kraft Over Naked Zesty Guy. Kraft being the food maker.
Kraft, K-R-A-F-T, yeah.
And the Naked Zesty Guy being their latest ad campaign.
And he is zesty.
Oh, he is zesty.
Yeah, you wouldn't mind
my goodness.
Getting some salad with that guy.
Ooh, getting your... Well, the ladies are...
wait. Wow. Window opened, and we got to slam that thing shut real quick. Because suddenly salad and gay sex have all sorts of... Yeah.
Anyways. So
what are these moms mad about?
They are mad
because they're turned on.
Well, of course that. There's the American Family Association has they have an arm called the 1 Million Moms, and they're sort of one of these like pressure groups,
right? They do the million. They were probably did the Million Mom March, and then they just call themselves a Million Moms.
Probably, now. I doubt they actually
all 20,000 of them,
right?
Yeah,
I doubt that they've. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's no way they've got a million.
No. But anyways, they don't like these ads. I mean, and just to kind of let you know, like, yeah, he's totally zesty. He through the ads, he's being all sort of innuendo-y, you know, and it's the zesty Italian, like, salad dressing.
Yeah.
Right. And at the end of it, it's so zesty, it like burns his clothes off.
Ooh.
Right. And just leaving like a little, well, in the one that I saw, he was behind a counter. Apparently there's another one where he just has like an apron on.
Right.
And that's all you can see there. I'm looking at a picture right now of him laying on a picnic blanket. Apparently with nothing on, just a corner of the picnic blanket covering up his nethers.
Oh. And he is a hunk, this guy.
Very, very nice looking man. So anyways, they took out an ad. Where did the ad run?
The Million Moms?
The Million Moms took out an ad, a full 2-page ad. No, wait.
In the Des Moines Register or something?
No, okay, so the 1 Million Moms declared it the most disgusting ad on the inside front cover that we have ever seen.
Front cover of what?
The front cover of a magazine that they would be looking at.
A ladies' magazine?
A ladies' magazine. It's a magazine spread that stars birthday suited model Anderson Davis. Yeah.
So his name's Anderson?
Anderson. That's sexy. Oh. Anyways, and so it says a full 2-page ad features a G*KED man lying on a picnic blanket with only a small portion of the blanket barely covering his G* in ATALS. So they won't even write the word out, naked or genitals. It is easy to see what this ad is really selling.
Yeah. Kraft is really breaking new ground here with using sex to sell a product.
Apparently they used the asterisks to get past certain spam filters.
I see.
Right. This was yeah. But anyways.
Oh my God. I'll tell you what. Do you know who's really behind all of this protest? Wishbone. This protest has been funded by Wishbone, by Newman's Own salad dressing.
The organization,
the consortium of salad dressings that are losing to Kraft.
Their press release continued. It says Kraft has gone too far and will push away loyal conservative customers with this new ad campaign. What? Christians will not be able to buy Kraft dressings or any of their products until they clean up their advertising. What? The customers they are attempting to attract, women and mothers, are the very ones they are driving away. Who will want Kraft products in their fridge or pantry if this vulgarity is what they represent? 1 million moms cannot get over the gall of this company. It is unnecessary for Kraft to use sex to sell salad dressing.
That is amazing. Wow. And what's great is that, Kraft thought they had a home run on their hands here.
Mm-hmm. And they did.
It's actually a funny campaign.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And believe me, they're selling salad dressing because of this.
And for sure.
People are like, mm-hmm.
And honestly, these ladies needed to come out against about 2,000 other ad campaigns before this one.
Oh, no kidding. But this one crossed the line.
Because it's salad dressing. It's wholesome. Hidden Valley is outraged right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The whole industry is being dragged down into the gutter because of these people.
Right. It's ruining salads across the world. Across the country, salads.
Nobody's going to enjoy tossed salad ever again.
Yeah, nobody. Okay, I'm stopping. I can be bad, but I can't be entirely vulgar. I will. I will slow myself down a little bit. Toss salad. Okay, well, go out and buy yourself some sexy man. I mean, salad dressing.
Well, yeah,
and yeah. So if you want to reach us and tell us how zesty your dressing is, you could do so by going to facebook.com/TGIAtheist.
Or you could email us at podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
Or you can even tell us your things in your own voice by leaving a voicemail at 424-666-TGIA, which is 424-666-8442.
That is correct. We're going to take a brief intermission. And this is some video that was shot at a little protest of sorts, I guess. Some guys are playing the guitar and singing a fun little
I think we're all going to be singing
Christian hymn.
I think we're all going to be singing this one for days afterwards.
I wasn't familiar with the song, but I can see why they've recently included it in all the hymnals.
Yes.
So here we go.
Okay to be gay, that's right, guys. It's not okay to be a homo. You should not live that way. God says it's a real big no-no. In the beginning, God made Adam and Eve. He did not make Adam and Steve. So if you're in a homosexual relationship, you need to leave. It's not okay to be gay. That's right, folks. It's not okay to be a homo. It's sick. Do not live that way. That's right, folks. God says it's a real big no. Give me a song.
Yeah! Play it! Burn it! Woo!
Some people would think that's hateful. We know it's kind of tongue-in-cheek song, but it makes a very profound point. The point is, God did not create us to be homosexual. God made man and woman.
Oh.
It's too bad the video cuts off there. I was hoping for another verse. Such a catchy tune.
It is.
Bow, 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 ba, da, 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 da. It's got that nice bluesy sort of guitar thing going. They got that 7 in there on those guitar chords.
Oh, yeah.
It
nice.
makes all the difference.
Really nice. Catchy little tune.
Sure.
Fun little thing.
And such an important part of the theology.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes right down to it, really, if you want to enshrine any part of your theology, the sexual mores are really the ones that you really need to worry about.
Focus on that.
Yeah.
The don'ts are always more important than the do's.
Right. Yeah.
In any religion, really.
Well,
right?
I mean, those are the ones that go on stone. You don't see, love thy neighbor on a stone tablet.
Right.
Nobody cares about
in front of a courthouse somewhere.
Love thy neighbor. It's love thy neighbor unless they're gay.
No, they would say that they love the person, but they hate the sex.
Hate the yucky poo-poo sex.
Yeah.
Anyway, there you go.
Yeah.
Not okay to be gay.
It's not. Apparently. Well, according, now we know.
No, we finally
somebody
we've got a definitive answer on the subject of whether or not it's okay to be gay.
And
I assume you'll be leaving your boyfriend now.
Turned out to be a little song. I wasn't expecting that. It's usually the things you don't expect.
I assume that now that you know, you'll be abandoning your gay lifestyle. Now that you've heard this song.
Well, right.
Because it was never presented in a convincing argument.
Not Adam and Steve, clearly.
Right.
And so
now wait a minute. Neither you nor your boyfriend's name are Adam nor Steve. Right. So I guess it's okay.
Right. But I just love the argument, right? Oh, it wasn't Adam and Steve. Oh.
Well, now it all makes sense.
They're right.
The first couple was straight, and therefore everyone has to be exactly the way the first couple was.
That makes so much sense.
Of course. You know what? You know who I feel for? There've got to be gay couples out there who are actually Adam and Steve.
Oh, they love it.
Yeah,
they love being Adam and Steve. Of course,
yeah, but eventually it gets old. Eventually,
after a while.
After like the 30th time of introducing yourself and somebody makes a joke about it, it's just like, we're not Adam and we're Steve and Adam.
And I'm actually going to start going by Stefan.
Yeah, exactly. Stefan, and you can call me AJ. It's Stefan and AJ. That's our names. Leave us alone. Well, so Frank, we've had some emails.
It's true.
Some people have written unto us.
Yes.
We got an email from Jennifer, who this one's a fun one. She says, "Hey, I discovered your podcast a few months ago and ran through the entire backlog about the same time that you started your tour."
Wow.
Yeah. People do that,
Mm-hmm.
We need to start deleting the bad ones, getting rid of all the
like the first one. The first one isn't terrible.
It's not terrible. We came up with that whole national hats thing. That was funny.
That was funny.
Anyway, so she wanted to hold off on emailing us until we returned to make sure that we had a chance to appreciate this amazing bit of atheistic religiosity. And it's Canadian, just to add to the weirdness. Now, I object to calling Canadians weird. Only people from Newfoundland, Canada are weird. That's a funny joke because she's a Newfie.
Oh,
Jennifer's a Newfie.
Okay.
Did you know the Newfoundlanders are the butt of the Canadian jokes?
I didn't.
Like you know how we callously make Polish jokes about Polish people being dumb.
Canadian jokes.
Or Canadian jokes. Well, Canadians
the butt of our jokes.
Canadians make Newfie jokes. Okay. And Jennifer, I think that they're unfair.
Oh,
I think they're being unfair. Anyway, she is saying, what she's writing us about is Raelianism. Have you heard of them? The Raelians?
I've heard.
They're biggest in Quebec, and they believe that that we were seeded here, meaning SEED, like we were planted here, by intelligent aliens. So they're intelligent design proponents in that sense. She says, I, and most people I'd say, first became aware of them when they claimed they had cloned an actual human back in 2002.
Oh, right.
When the world was all did you really? Can we see? They were like, nah. Human cloning has been part of their religion, and they even have a separate group set up to further this cause. She says, and they're nudists.
Oh, even better.
Yeah. So she was pointing us to the wiki on these people. I love the Raelians. They are nuts.
Yeah.
They're like, I mean, clearly the leader was this francophone French-speaking dude who was like super into sex. So he was all about like, but yeah,
what francophone isn't?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. They're all.
It comes with the language. And so they he had all of these. He was taken up into their spaceship, I believe, and given a lot of instructions and told like the true history of us. And they're going to come back at some point, of course.
Of course.
And rescue everybody or something.
Oh wow!
But yeah, Raelians.
Have sex with us.
Yeah,
that's what they're going to do.
It's going
to be.
Surely
they took him up to their sexy spaceship.
Oh,
and they had some sexy space sex.
Space sex parties
sex with a francophone.
Space sex, the final frontier.
That would be the final frontier.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, they're nuts and they're great, and I kind of love them. They do get a lot of nudity going. I was actually first made aware of like who they really are, and I'll refer people to this from another podcast, the Ono, Ross, and Carey podcast, who they like to go out and sort of join groups. So they joined the Raelians,
right?
Which is great. They had to go out into the desert in California. No, they don't have to be nude, and it sounded to me like they weren't. Like, it wasn't you have to do anything, but boy, there was a lot of, like, nubile women dancing. And
yeah. Oh, I see. I'm looking at one right now in Seoul, South Korea.
Yeah. They're all over the place.
But the Love Hug Festival.
I swear I feel like the Raelians, like, the dude was actually from France.
Yeah, he was. I just looked it up. Did you know that they are the second largest UFO religion? After Scientology?
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Rael. Yeah. The followers of Rael, and they've got this. What's funny is that do you see their star of David with the swirly thing in the middle?
It kind of makes my eyes go crossed.
Well, what would really make your eyes go crossed is that I think their original symbol was a swastika sort of
that one
variant.
Also makes my eyes go crossed. I'm like, I can't follow it.
It was a swastika variant
of the Star of David. Star of David. With a swastika in the middle.
Yeah, sure.
That's not going to upset anyone.
No. How can you possibly go wrong with that? A swastika of David is what I like to do.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's been used for millennia.
Sure,
it's been used forever.
I love when people do that. I've seen multiple things where like somebody online will post a picture of them wearing a swastika earrings, and then when people freak out, they'll be like, "No, I mean the Indian symbol of peace." Do your research.
Yeah, no kidding. People.
Look up history. Jeez.
Wow, you are being really ignorant.
You would jump to the conclusion that I'm a Nazi just because I'm wearing.
Wow, that really
swastikas.
Exposed something dark on your soul.
Right.
Ew. God, I'm just wearing a swastika, and you are going around not knowing what it is.
You're accusing me of hatred, and you know what that exposes? Your hatred.
Yeah.
Why are you so hateful? Just because
of the swastika.
Because I'm wearing a symbol of peace and or genocide.
But I've chosen which one.
I've chosen really the peace version, and everybody else
jumped to conclusions.
Assholes.
Assholes. You have a really narrow mind. Open your mind. Oh.
And then join the Raelians. Go have alien sexy time.
Ooh, oh, she's alien sexy.
Oh, who?
Look at her. Oh my.
Oh, meow.
Yeah, look at her. Wow.
You know, I'll tell you what.
She's wearing like a little weird tiara.
If you're charismatic and you need a lot of sex, starting a religion is a really good way to go.
Yeah.
You will just get so much sex.
Yeah.
It's just poontang all the time.
Yeah. Start a little cult. That's the way you get sex, apparently.
Yep. All right, Jennifer, thanks for that.
Yeah, thank you. All right, I've got an email.
Okay.
And this comes to us from Alan. And he is responding to the Amish romance.
Oh, right.
We talked about
the romance novels.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he says that he owns a used bookstore in a small town in Georgia.
Oh.
And he says that these books are nothing new, that they've been a thing for years now. And he said that, in fact, his shop has a whole section devoted to them. And so
that's hot.
But what I love is he explains. He says the customers who read these aren't Amish; they're just nice old ladies. And he says, I have never sold one to a man or a person under 65. I haven't read any of the books, but I get the sense that there's at least some discussion of the more restrictive, unpleasant elements in Amish life. Christian fiction actually has a much closer corollary to Harlequin romances. The love-inspired series of romances, which are basically just standard issue romance novels, but with a really Christian bent. What's kind of sad is how many of them are about a single mother falling in love and marrying her next door neighbor. After bringing him to Jesus, of course.
Oh, yes.
Or something like that.
The handsome next door neighbor.
Yeah. And
that old chestnut.
Half the titles are called Next Door Daddy or A Daddy for Christmas or something like that.
Here's the story of a next door daddy.
And then he adds, and this is sad, having a loving partner to help you raise your kid should be a reality, not escapism, right?
Oh yeah, God, well, maybe
hurt,
maybe, or maybe it's okay to just raise a kid on your own.
But then he includes some photos that he took of the Christian fiction section, and so there's like a set of shelves, a stack that says Christian fiction, and then sort of adjacent to it is Christian fiction Amish, and it's a whole stack as well.
Okay,
it looks like.
And his name was Alan.
Alan, yeah,
Alan. The day before you quit, I need you to take all of the Bibles and put them into the Christian fiction section. It's when you're going to leave. Don't jeopardize anything.
Right.
But at some point, put all of the Bibles need to go into the Christian fiction section. I think that's delightful. I think that it's so you remember that when we were talking about this, somebody had dubbed the Amish ones. Because Harlequin novels are dubbed bodice rippers, and somebody had dubbed the Amish ones bonnet rippers.
Yeah, I like that.
I'd like to propose an alternate phrase for them: beard grabbers.
Yeah. Anyways, he concludes some photos of two different Amish books, the covers, and one is called The Englisher, and it has a sort of a faded out. Handsome young man who's floating above a carriage, an Amish carriage.
He's Englisher than the rest of us.
The Englisher, or he does
he gives it the old English.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
When he's
and then there's another one, Paradise Valley. It has an Amish woman looking to a man who's looking away from her.
From the best-selling author of Levi's Will.
Del Kramer.
I love on the cover of Paradise Valley, there are two people, neither of whom are looking in the direction of us.
Right.
You can't see either of their faces.
No,
I think that's just
a
lazy painter.
Yeah.
He's like, faces are hard. They're both going to be looking away wistfully.
And there's also a review, a pull quote from a review on the cover of this one. It says, if you like Amish fiction, you'll love this book. And that's from the New York Times bestselling. Beverly Lewis is a New York Times bestselling author.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's like, if you like wallowing around in mud, you'll enjoy this wallow.
This pile of mud. Yeah. Yep.
If you like really crap writing, you'll especially like this crap writing.
Yeah, so that's fun.
Thank you for writing in, Alan.
Thank you, Alan. That was
fun. And
I was at work when that one came in, and I was like, "Yay!"
Did you giggle?
It gave me a little relief from work. So
yeah. Alrighty. Nice. I would like to now direct your attention to the Mormons.
Ooh. Mormons.
There's
more Mormons than you expect.
They're more man than you know.
Woo!
Yeah.
It's true, though.
So, as we teased at the beginning, at the top of our show, and now we're slowly working our way down to the bottom of our show. There's more Mormons than we know about. We all grew up knowing, when you think Mormon, if you ask, random person on the street in middle America somewhere.
You think Utah? You think Salt Lake City?
Now you think Mitt Romney.
You think Mitt Romney. You think missionaries.
You think probably a lot of myths that don't actually apply, like can't dance or something like that.
Sure. Weird. Yeah.
There's no drinking.
Sure, you might know that. Yeah.
No effing and jeffing.
You know that they're nice people.
Uh-huh.
You probably know that. You probably have this impression that they're nice people.
You might have a sense that they bug you every now and then at your door.
Yeah. Yeah.
What you don't know is that's just one.
That's only one
offshoot of Joseph Smith's legacy.
Yeah. Pretty amazing, actually.
I tell you what, man, we went down the Mormon rabbit hole.
It doesn't end.
The thing is, we had to scamper back out of that rabbit hole partway down, but we could see that it just goes on and on forever.
Yeah. So basically what happened here was and this is the critical important thing to kind of know about Mormonism in general, or the Latter-day Saint movement. If you're going to look it up on Wikipedia or somewhere, and you're going to do a quick little overview of it, look for the Latter-day Saint movement.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, the first church that was founded by Joseph Smith that spawned all of this was called the Church of Christ.
Right.
And he organized it on April 6th, 1830.
By the way, if you say I'm in a neighborhood, I'm surrounded by Mormons because I'm in Salt Lake City. If I go up to any of my Mormon neighbors and say, Joseph Smith, true or false, Joseph Smith founded a church called the Church of Christ, they will say false.
That's true.
This is not something that is known.
But if you said, was your church founded on April 6th, 1830, they'd say yes.
Correct.
Because this is the whole thing. All these different offshoots, they're all claiming that they are the continuation of Joseph Smith's teachings.
Modern day Mormons do not know that they are part of several rebranding efforts, starting with Joe Smith himself, and then moving along.
So during Joseph Smith's lifetime, there was the Church of Christ. Then there was the Church of the Latter-day Saints, and then there was the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which sort of first surfaced in 1838, I think I remember reading.
Yep.
And
stuck.
And that's the one that stuck, and that's the one that everybody... not everybody.
Talk about a clumsy damn title for a church.
Oh, as a little kid, I was like, what is it again?
Right. And not only is it a mouthful... Yeah. Not only is it okay, wait, you're going to have to tell me that 3 more times so that I remember. Right. It's also, what the hell does that mean?
It's kooky sounding.
How do you, Church of?
Church of Jesus Christ.
How many ofs do we need?
Of Latter-day Saints.
Yeah. How about the church full of Latter-day Saints who like Jesus Christ?
Well, there was actually one of the offshoots that kind of got it right. Let me scroll down. I'm scrolling down.
Scrolling.
And I'm passing up 30, 40, some odd. The Latter-day Church of Jesus Christ. That one's not bad.
That one's way better.
That's way, way, way better. And that was formed in 2007.
Or what about Latter-day Church of Jesus Christ's Saints? Or something like that.
Well,
if you want to get the saints in, because they think that they're saints, they don't really think that they're saints. They're using that word in a way that nobody else ever used that word.
The saints are just followers of Joseph Smith.
Right. Yeah. But he used that. I actually think that might have been pretty clever on his part. Because if you get to call yourself a saint, then there's something. Then you feel special.
Yeah, that's true.
Everybody else isn't a saint, but I'm a saint. I'm a Latter-day Saint.
Yeah. Well, why don't you cover your little the 3 witnesses?
Okay,
this is important.
So here's where we start. We start with Joe Smith claiming that he had been pointed by an angel to a hill where was buried golden plates.
Yeah.
Plates of gold upon which was written a history, an account, if you will, of peoples in the Americas.
Right.
These peoples were purported to be from Jerusalem.
Yes.
They hopped on a boat.
Well, they built a boat.
They built a boat and then hopped on it.
Yeah.
Got them here to the Americas, where they thrived for a while, and that's whence come our American Indians.
Yeah.
So you might say, that sounds suspicious, Dan. Well, maybe until you learn that there were witnesses to these plates of gold.
Yeah.
There a total of 12 people claim to have witnessed it, but the most important of those 12 are the 3 witnesses. In Mormon lore and in Mormon churches, you'll hear them talk a lot about the 3 witnesses. Right. If you go to the Temple Square downtown in Salt Lake City, you will see encased in brass, not encased, emblazed. It's carved out in brass. You'll see the testimony of the 3 witnesses.
Okay.
And little
molded.
Thank you. Sure, we'll go with
molded
that.
in brass.
And then you'll also see brass likenesses of these 3 witnesses, which you got to think that's going to gall Joseph Smith, and I'll tell you why.
Cast in brass.
Cast. Thank you, cast.
Yeah. I was like, what do you do with the mold? Because
exactly.
The mold wasn't brass.
Right, you cast it. Okay. So these 3 witnesses all claimed, well, the stories get a little bit hazy.
Start with the official.
The official word is they saw the golden plates. They were shown them by an angel. They witnessed an angel. They saw the golden plates.
And who were the 3 guys?
Oliver Cowdery, Martin Harris, and David Whitmer.
Okay.
So these 3 guys are important in Mormon history.
Oh yeah, they saw it.
They saw it. They witnessed it. It was later. A couple of them said that they didn't see it with their eyeballs, but they saw it with their heart balls or their feelings. They saw it with their feelings.
Yeah. And what did the one? Did he even get that close?
Well, there was also Martin Harris, who, when nothing was happening, said, well. And again, we don't. Who knows what story is real or whatever? Right. But Martin Harris left before the angel showed up because he felt like he was impeding the miracle.
Wow.
And so really, this miracle happened with Oliver Cowdery and David Whitmer, with Joseph Smith standing there or being there with them, kneeling down.
He was a witness. He saw it. There were 3.
Yeah, exactly. There were 3. Just one of them was Joseph Smith, and then somehow I think Martin Harris got.
Well, he signed it.
Yeah,
he signed the statement. He said that he saw it.
I think he may have. What did he do? Did he get another? Did he
get a second?
A second chance at it? I think he might have claimed that he got a second chance at it. Anyway, here's a fascinating little fact: none of them followed Joseph Smith till his death.
Oh, yeah.
They were all 3 excommunicated from Joseph Smith's church during his lifetime.
Yeah. Which means that they did not... this is not... They were never part of, the Brigham Young Church.
No.
They were never part of that. I mean, this is early Mormonism.
Yeah, this is early Mormonism. And so here's what's interesting about these 3 guys. First of all, the Mormons will hold the current downtown Mormons, the ones that we talk about as the Mormons, but are actually, but I'm going to call them the Youngites. Because they followed Brigham Young here to Utah. The Youngites will tell you, this is the group that you and I were raised in. That there's 14 million of them or something.
They claim.
They claim.
Yeah.
But they their idea, if you say to them, hey, none of these 3 guys, these 3 witnesses that you hold up as being so important, none of them stayed in the church. They were all excommunicated. They will tell you, but none of them recanted their vision.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And that always baffled me.
Right.
Why didn't they recant their vision?
Right.
Well, as it turns out, most of them went on to form their own version. They all went on and joined up with other groups, and now we have our introduction into splitter groups of the LDS movement.
Right. And the first ones that we will be looking at are those that were separated from Joseph Smith, Joseph Smith's group.
While he was alive.
So this is prior to 1844. And I'm just going to rattle off their names super duper quick. We have the Pure Church of Christ, the Independent Church, the Church of Christ, the Church of Christ Parashite, the Austin Church, Church of Christ again, Church of Jesus Christ, the Bride, the Lamb's Wife. We have another Church of Christ, and we have the True Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Because like we said, the name had evolved at a certain point. So some of the first two were actually split-offs of the Church of Christ, the first one.
Right. Joseph Smith's first incarnation of it.
And then the next one was in 1836, and that was the first offshoot of the Church of the Latter-day Saints.
Right.
And there were two of those, and then finally they're all Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. But what's important here is that those are the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, no hyphen in Latter-day, and the D is capitalized, which is actually really important.
To them. I don't give a shit.
Well, in making distinctions about which groups we're talking about, because there's different spellings.
Now, none of the groups that you just listed are currently, they're all defunct.
Those
groups.
are all defunct.
They've
all of those first ones.
They've all died out.
Yeah.
But these were founded very soon after. I mean, Joe Smith founded his in April of 1830. The first offshoot groups were 1831, 1832, 1836, 37, 39. I mean, they started quick.
Oh, yeah.
The thing is, they loved the Book of Mormon.
They loved the Book of Mormon.
People loved this book.
Yeah.
It was, and you know, I read a whole essay on how the reason that Joseph Smith was so successful, because this was a time when everybody and his dog was starting religion.
Oh, yeah.
Especially in that area of the country.
Right.
Everybody was starting. Everybody, you know, if you owned a milk crate to stand on, you were going to start a religion.
Right.
But he was way more successful than anybody else. And the reason was he had a book.
Oh, he had something tangible.
And it wasn't just a book. It was a book based on Indian treasure. And everybody was obsessed with Indian treasure. As a matter of fact, Joseph Smith started out his career doing divining work with a divining rod and stuff, looking for Indian treasure.
There was that. And I've always sort of had the impression that it also had this Americanness to it. It appealed to Americans because of its sort of, it gave religious significance to the Americas.
Right. Jesus came here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's very important. And it gives a good origin story for the Indians, which nobody knew where they came from or what they were all about.
How could these people just be here?
What could have happened?
Why would they be here?
They were
all places on this planet.
And then
without Europeans here, how did they get here?
The thing is that after you hear the real reason why they're here, it becomes so blatantly obvious.
Oh, of course.
They were Jews.
Oh, yeah.
They were clearly
Why
Jews.
They be Jews. Why? That makes perfect sense.
You look at just look at an Apache face. Just look at the next Cherokee person you meet.
Yeah, and just imagine like some ringlets.
Yeah, coming down in front of their ears. Just go up to them and say, "Oy vey, this weather! Are you kidding me? I'm schwitzing like a something over here." Yeah. I literally ran out of Yiddish. I was going to try. I was schwitzing. I was on the right track, and then I said the words like and had nowhere to go. I'm schwitzing like a dog. I
could have said Goya.
Like a Goya.
Because Goya sweats so much.
Yeah, we Goya. We Goya. The Goyim of the world. We're a bunch of sweaters.
Okay, so anyway. We are off track.
Well, there is no real track here. We are flying blind, people, because there's too much of this to cover.
So anyways, enter the exit of Joseph Smith.
Joseph Smith gets killed. Now, before he gets killed, you have to understand, it did come to light. He was keeping it secret, but it did come to light that he was possibly practicing polygamy.
Oh, yeah.
And
people didn't like that.
And a lot of folks didn't like that. So that splintered a whole bunch of people away into different things. The matter of fact, what got him killed was a group of other. So one of the groups that you mentioned, the True Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, published in the Nauvoo Expositor, a newspaper, charges against Joseph Smith about him being, a polygamist, and then he, in response, had their printing press destroyed. Yeah. He sent his goons, Mormon goons, to destroy their printing press, and that's what led to him being jailed, and then he was murdered. Or if you're a Mormon, martyred in the jail.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, all hell breaks loose.
Oh, man.
Because who do you follow?
Who?
Who's next?
Who of all these groups?
Joseph Smith himself said, my son.
Yeah.
But
his son was still a kid.
But his son was 11.
Yeah.
Or something. I think it was about 11.
Plus or minus a couple years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you do? What do you do? Well, this Brigham Young guy steps up and says, hey, what about me? And a lot of people go, yes. And he says, we're going to cross the whole country. And they still said yes.
Yeah.
Most of the people went with him.
Yeah.
And thrived.
Yes. They settled in the Great Basin.
The Great Salt Lake Valley.
Yes. And so that's the group that
that's the group that Frank and I were raised with their teachings, that lineage.
Well, more or less. I mean, let's face it,
with
Brigham
some addenda,
Young did some teaching that the downtown church has left,
right?
Has left behind,
right? Including polygamy, and they've distanced themselves from a lot of his teachings. The Adam God theory, blood atonement, right? All of these things.
Those are just to list a couple of the famous
moon people. they've since left aside the Moon Quakers.
Yeah. So there's a lot that the corporate church has left behind,
right?
And so one of those things was polygamy.
Yeah.
And when they left that behind, well, a lot of Mormons felt that was really important. And this happened, the manifesto, sort of the declaration of the fact that they were no longer going to be polygamists, happened in 1890.
Yeah.
And then we see, we really don't see splinter groups happening until the 1920s, because that's when they really started getting serious about it.
Right. There was still quite a bit of like mainstream Mormonism, like doing a little wink and nod to extra wives here and there.
There were still extra wives being sealed to their husbands in the temple.
Again, Wilford Woodruff, who came out with the manifesto.
He was the president of the church.
He was the prophet of the church at the point. He said, God whispered in my ear, we're not going to be doing this anymore.
Right.
He himself took yet another wife. He already had plural wives. He took yet another wife after the manifesto.
Yeah. Oh, there was nothing sincere about the manifesto.
Oh no,
it was just to placate the federal government.
There was the sincere part about please stop taking our stuff.
Yeah.
And please don't declare war on us and throw me in jail.
Yeah. So here's a list. I'm going to rattle off another list. These are all splinter groups starting in the 1920s who believe that they are following the revelations and teachings of Joseph Smith Jr. and Brigham Young, including the practice of plural marriage.
Right. Because it was unequivocal. There were so many statements made about how it's absolutely, this is the word of God. This polygamy thing will never fall from the earth. It's going to continue forever. It's holy and it's right.
Right.
So, you hear that enough, and then when they say don't do it anymore,
you might see that it's for purely political reasons.
Yeah, you might be tempted to go, oh, that dude's bullshit.
Yeah.
We need to keep doing this.
Yeah. And so we have the Short Creek Community. We have the Latter-day Church of Christ. And that's a Kingston group, actually, if that means anything to you. We have the Apostolic United Brethren. That's the All Reds. We have the Fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Yeah.
We have the Church of the Firstborn in the Fullness of Times. That's the one of the LeBarons.
Right.
There's the Church of the Lamb of God.
That's the other LeBaron. He had his brother killed.
Yeah. Church of the New Covenant in Christ.
Yeah.
Confederate Nations of Israel.
Confederate Nations of Israel.
The Righteous Branch of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. You have the School of the Prophets. You have Centennial Park. There's the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and the Kingdom of God. We have the True and Living Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. We have the Church of the Firstborn in the General Assembly of Heaven. And we have the Blackmore Bountiful Community.
Wow.
And that was founded as recently as 2002.
Yeah.
So the years on these are the 1920s, 1954, 1955, 1972, 75, 77, 78, 82, 84, 90, 94, 2001, and 2002.
The one that was founded in 1954, the Fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, is probably the biggest.
Yeah, it is. It has approximately... Well, there are two that might have right around the same numbers. There's the Apostolic United Brethren. They're the ones that are down in Bluffdale.
Right. Bluffdale, Utah.
Bluffdale, Utah.
That's the southernmost part of eastern Utah.
Right.
No, western Utah.
And then,
Bluffdale's on the west.
And then...
Right?
North. I'm sorry, what?
I'm just trying to geographically locate Bluffdale in my head.
Isn't Bluffdale one of the twin cities of Bluffdale and Colorado City?
No. That's Colorado City and I don't remember.
Okay. Anyways, let's see, Bluffdale. I'm just going to click on it real quick.
The Colorado City ones are the ones that eventually moved down to El Dorado, Texas. Colorado City is in the central, is right on the border, the southern border of Utah. It's in Colorado City is technically in Arizona.
Yes, that's true.
And then the Utah side is
Bluffdale, of course. Bluffdale's in anyways, I know where Bluffdale is. It's not anywhere near.
It's on the east. Bluffdale's on the east side of Utah, of southern Utah, and Colorado City and its Utah equivalent that neither of us can think of is on the west side of the Utah border.
Well, wait a second.
Of the southern Utah border.
Yes. But isn't Bluffdale in Salt Lake County?
No. It's way the hell down there. Oh no, Bluffdale. Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of a totally different city. I've just confused everybody. I apologize.
I was confused as well.
And then very difficult.
I looked at Bluffdale and I was like,
Bluffdale's not in southern Utah. It's in northern Utah. Right. It's sort of within the greater Salt Lake metropolitan area.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Sorry, folks.
Now we've cleared that up.
We do so much research.
Yeah.
Just so much research.
Well, the problem is that we do a lot of research and then we start talking about things that we didn't bother researching yet.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's how we work.
So those are all the groups that splintered off of sort of the Brigham Young group. Okay.
Right.
And then there's this left of center thing. That's sort of the next one on the list, and these are sort of liberal or inclusive groups. There was the Church of Zion, which was founded in 1868. It's defunct. There was the United Order Family of Christ in 1966, and that broke off of the Downtown Church. And that's also defunct. It lasted only not even 10 years.
Right.
And then the Restoration Church of Jesus Christ, also defunct, and that was formed in 1985, and that was the majority of the members were LGBT.
Oh,
and so it was the gay Mormon church.
Here's the thing, folks. What we're getting at here, and this theme, just allow this theme to continue in your brain as we proceed through all of this stuff. All of the groups that we are naming believe themselves to be the true descendants of the lineage of the gospel of Joseph Smith.
Well, they at least believe that they are the true followers.
Right.
They're the ones that have it all figured out.
Right.
Yeah.
All of the other ones are the apostate followers of Joseph Smith, down to the congregations that are like 12 people who are all in the same family. They all believe that they are the true followers of Joseph Smith.
Yeah. The Restoration Church of Jesus Christ, I like this. Their original name was the Church of Jesus Christ of All Latter-day Saints. So take it, downtown church.
Yeah. So those are the ones that split off after they got to Utah. But there's something that happened before they went to Utah.
Oh,
which is that not everybody followed Brigham Young.
Exactly.
A lot of folks thought there was a pretty large group of people that were like, wait, Joe Smith said it was going to be his son. What about that? And they looked to Joe Smith's first wife, Emma Smith, and said, hey, what about that? Yeah. And she said, yeah, let's do that. And formed what became known as the Reorganized Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which then became known as, and is currently known as, the Community of Christ.
Yes.
The Community of Christ, the second largest current LDS group.
Right.
Which with more than 250,000 members self-reported as of 2006 in the world.
And I kind of trust their numbers. Talking to the woman at that desk when we were in Independence.
Right.
And they had their little information desk, and we went up and we're like, hey, blah, blah, blah. She seemed really honest on a lot of issues. And there was something about, I can't remember how she phrased it, but when she said, oh, yeah, we have like 200,000 members, I was like, I believe it.
That felt right.
That felt right, and because she had been really sort of sincere and sort of exhibited sort of an intellectual honesty about her religion
until it came time to talk about Joseph Smith's polygamy, which she claimed is somehow controversial
within the church.
Within that church,
yeah,
it's not controversial by any historical standard.
No,
but there you go.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so we visited their temple in Independence, Missouri, which is where they're still headquartered. Independence is awesome.
Yeah.
If you guys go to Kansas City and you want just a nutty little outing, just jump into a rental car, head to Independence, Missouri, and we've got a video coming up. You guys can go onto the YouTube and see the video about this. You can stand in one place and point to, 4? Just from one vantage point, you could probably see about 4.
4. Yeah, you can see 4.
From one spot. But there are all of these offshoot churches represented.
And they all want to be in this one place.
Right.
Because
it's Zion.
Right. Joseph Smith declared this place to be Zion. And this is where... And he meant sort of the near future when he said this, that they would build a temple.
Right.
Now they all sort of say that, well, it's where we, in the last days, will build a temple.
Well, no, that's what the LDS
That's what the LDS
say.
Yeah.
The Community of Christ have built a temple.
They've built their temple. There. Across the street, though, from the lot.
That's right. Because there is a lot there that Joseph Smith designated that's owned by
the Church of Christ Temple Lot.
Which is another splinter group.
Yes.
They're tiny, but they own the lot, so fuck you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It is amazing.
They've got it.
And then, of course, the LDS church, the downtown church, the followers of Brigham Young, they have a visitor center there and a ward house right there to sort of make their presence felt.
Right.
And then, oh my gosh, you guys... You drive around and you just see all these churches, and you know anywhere else in the South when you're driving around, you think, oh, it's just another church. It's going to be Baptist, or it's going to be Pentecostal, or it's going to be whatever. In that half-mile radius, it's going to say something about Zion, or it's going to say something, but it's all Mormon offshoots.
Right. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It is so nutty.
Right. And so these are the reorganized church sort of groups, which you could call Josephites. Some people do call these people people who sort of they never had anything to do with Brigham Young.
Right.
These are people who go back to Joseph.
So they go back through Joseph Smith the third. Because
exactly.
Joseph Smith, the Joseph Smith that we refer to when we say Joseph Smith is Junior.
Right. Yeah.
So
this is Joseph Smith III.
So yeah, these former RLDS. I grew up calling them RLDS because that's what my parents would call them.
But they are the Community of Christ. Well, and they called them that for good reason. They didn't reorganize, or they didn't change their name until like the 1980s. Is that when it happened?
Somewhere in there. Yeah. I think so.
Somewhere in there. And then they have groups that offshot from them.
Right. So they go back to the 1860s.
Yes. And then in 1918 we have sort of their first group that was like, nah, screw you. And that's the Church of Christian Brotherhood. Mm-hmm. They're defunct.
Yeah, they split off. So the thing is that the reorganized Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints was pretty big, which means if they're big enough, what happens is then they start making decisions about what they believe, and that causes other things to splinter off. Like basically all that happens is as soon as somebody says, "Hey, we believe X," then everybody who doesn't believe X starts their own damn religion where they believe Y.
Right.
And then when the religion B that believes Y suddenly decides that, oh, we believe this thing now, then everybody who doesn't believe that starts their own religion. And then you've got the Joeites and the Samites and the
Tonyites.
Tonyites is a real one, too.
That's a real one.
They're the Strangeites.
That's the Church of Jesus Christ Tonyite. We have the Independent RLDS, or Restoration branches. We have the Church of Jesus Christ restored in 1830. But they didn't organize until the mid-1980s.
Right.
We have the Church of Christ, again. We have the Church of Jesus Christ Zion's branch. We saw them.
Yeah, Zion's branch we know.
Restoration Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And then also one that we saw was the Remnant Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And that has about 1,000 to 2,000 members, and they're back behind the Community of Christ.
The Remnant Church, I believe, broke off because the Community of Christ decided to allow women to have the priesthood.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So here's the thing: if you're going to join a Mormon offshoot church, go for Community of Christ because they are pretty cool.
Yeah, they actually are.
They're like they're down for women. They're down with the queers.
And there's plenty of them that you feel like you're actually part of something and not just some kooky little...
Yeah, you don't feel like you're part of crazy little stupid cult.
Yeah. And then we have groups, I'm not going to read all of these, but they claim to be followers of Granville Hendrick.
Right.
And that's the Church of Christ Temple Lot people.
Temple Lot are the Hendrickites.
And then there's just a list of offshoots of that. And then we have followers of Sidney Rigdon or William Bickerton, and these are known as Bickertonites. And we have not a whole list. There's like 4 of those. And then we have
you have to understand, some of these names will ring really important in a Mormon's ear.
And some of them are like, you're like, who?
Yeah. So Sidney Rigdon was like Joe Smith's right-hand man for a long time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like a long time. And then they had a falling out and he starts his own thing.
Right.
But apparently he wasn't charismatic enough. So this Bickerton guy came in and took over as the leader.
Then we have followers of Alpheus Cutler.
The Cutlerites. I'm going to call them the Cutlery group.
They date back to 1853. We have followers of, but yet there's 3 groups of them. We have followers of James J. Strange, or the Strangeites. They date back to 1844.
There's still a few hundred of them.
There's a few hundred of them.
Floating
and
around.
There's a good half a dozen groups.
Yeah.
And then there's some additional Latter-day Saint churches that are, most of these are headquartered in the U.S., in the United States, east of the Rocky Mountains. We have there's a list of them.
There's just a ton of these people.
Then there's a group of spontaneous or unknown lineage.
Including the Apostolic Divine Church of Ghana, which apparently formed when they couldn't get contact with Salt Lake City. Like, a bunch of missionaries had gone out and baptized a bunch of Ghanaians, a bunch of Africans, and then forgotten about them. And they just basically were like, okay, we're now called this. Like, somebody stepped up and became their leader.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
It's just nutty.
Yeah.
It's just... and what's great about this is that, you ask your average, what we think of as Mormon, about any of this?
No clue.
No clue.
No fucking clue, because they don't type Mormon into Google.
No.
They know not to do that.
They know better than to search anything.
Right. That's not smart.
They've got the Book of Mormon. They can just read that. But the thing is that most of these groups believe in the Book of Mormon.
Yeah.
Like,
it's crazy.
I think almost all of them do.
It's just so
strange. But then some of them will abandon other Mormon scripture, like the Pearl of Great Price or the
certain sections of the
Doctrine and Covenants, or an expurgated version of the Doctrine and Covenants, or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. And I don't know what we've really sort of elucidated here, other than just to show off how kooky the whole thing is.
Well, here's one point that occurs to me because both my parents were LDS historians in their professional careers, at least at some point in their professional careers.
Okay,
and so they would go to the Mormon History Association conventions. My mom was even president of the Mormon History Association for a while, and so they would come back and tell me stories about things. And then I found out that our LDS people were showing up.
Mm-hmm. And
I just thought, why are they showing up to the Mormon History Association?
Interesting. Yeah.
Why would they do that? And why would the Mormons, the real Mormons, why would we as real Mormons let them in?
Right.
And now I realize they've got a significant chunk of Mormon history.
Oh, yeah.
They, Mormon history is a lot theirs.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear a Mormon talk about Emma Smith.
Oh,
they venerate, and then they
also don't really.
There's
moments.
There's a love-hate relationship with Emma.
The downtown Mormons have been trying to kind of clean up sort of perceptions of Emma. That's sort of my perspective.
Yeah, I think so.
Because when certain conversations about Mormon history do come up, about how she wouldn't move west with Brigham Young and all that kind of stuff, boy, people have said some things. I've heard things about Emma Smith.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Not nice.
Some bad mouthing.
Yeah.
I never heard anything about, in church, I never heard word one about Emma Smith except that she was a good and loyal, faithful wife to Joseph. And nothing about the fact that she, with the help of others, started an offshoot of the church with her son in place as the eventual leader.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
A little nutball.
Yeah. And what was also fun is when we were in Independence and going through the temple of the RLDS temple, or the Community of Christ
temple, which you're allowed to just tour through.
Oh yeah, well it's basically just a fancy church.
Mm-hmm.
That's what my impression of it was.
Cathedral, think cathedral.
Yeah, it's big. It's got lots of seats. It's got
like a Nautilus shell spiral going up.
Yeah, I kind of dug it.
Yeah, it was fine.
It was very non-traditional sort of religious space, but with traditional trappings, pews and hymnals and podium and
organ,
big pipe organ and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. But it was just sort of set in a more kind of modern type setting. And anyways, what I thought was sort of fascinating, and it actually pulled back some memories for me because my family had gone out there when I was a kid, and there were a couple obviously Mormon gentlemen came walking in, and you can tell that they're Mormon because they've got was it Sunday when we were there?
Mm-hmm.
They had their white shirts on and slacks,
right? And
you could see the garments and all of that, so you knew that they were they were downtown Mormons.
They were Youngites.
They were Youngites, and they just the smug look on their face.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, just like, ugh, Jesus, look at this. How pathetic.
It is pathetic.
This is a temple? Pathetic.
I don't even think this is a temple. It's like, these people are still going?
Yeah.
These people, look, it was decided. The real Mormons are us.
Not them.
Not you guys. Why are you still doing this?
Sad.
Why are you still doing it?
This is sad.
And it is.
Oh.
It's very sad.
Yeah. the thing I wanted to do, and I couldn't get your attention quick enough, was I wanted to like go and sort of follow them around,
right,
and be like, wow, these people really have it figured out.
Right.
They really have Joseph Smith. I've heard about Joseph Smith before, but like this is a different perspective, and I really like it.
Yeah, this is so much better than mainstream Mormonism.
Yeah,
this is the best version of Mormonism.
This is the best Mormon, which it actually kind of is.
It is,
but
we should totally we need to go back there, and we need to do that.
Yeah,
just plant ourselves in a group, in a big group, in a tour group, and just all the time just be making comments about, I've studied up on the Latter-day Saints. This is way better. You guys are doing such a great job.
Yeah.
You're so much better than they are. And so much more legitimate.
Yeah. Your claim to Joseph Smith's lineage, that makes so much sense.
It's so, because he said it.
Yeah, he said it.
Who's this Brigham Young interloper? He totally duped everybody.
Yeah.
Wow.
Huh.
That other church
is just sorry for those people.
They're just a bunch of dupes.
Ah, so sad.
It's rough. But we have to wait until we're because Mormons go there.
Oh, they go. Oh, yeah, they love it.
So we have to wait until
it's one of sort of the Mormon history stops. If you're dragging your kids across the country and making them miserable to go see some Mormon history crap,
right?
You're going to hit Nauvoo and you're going to hit a few of those places, and then you're going to just swing by Independence and you're going to check it out,
right?
And you're going to be like, what is this?
The thing is, the joke that we just made of like, lauding the community of Christ just to spite the Mormons.
Yeah,
I would totally do that.
Oh, yeah. No,
I would never.
That was no joke. I agree.
The thing is, I would never go into somebody's house of worship and then denigrate their house of worship while I'm in there.
No,
but I will laud them and heap praise on them to bug somebody else. I love that idea. Just keep raising my hand. Now wait. Do the LDS Church believe that gays are okay? Oh, they don't? Oh my God, that's gross.
That's a bummer.
You guys have them beat there too.
Yeah.
You guys are really doing a good job. I'm keeping a running tab here, and you guys are doing great.
And you let women into the priesthood?
Wait, did the Mormons do that? No? Oh my gosh, they're missing the boat every single time.
Boy, they are just behind the times.
When did you guys accept black people? Before?
You mean back in the 1800s?
What?
What?
Oh my gosh.
No.
Score one more for Community of Christ, I guess. Wow.
You mean you've been ahead of or right along with every social movement this country has ever had? Wow.
Now wait, did you guys practice polygamy? You didn't practice polygamy?
In fact, you hate it?
Wow.
Huh.
That just seems like it's in line with social values.
Huh.
Wow. I guess the Mormon Church really just is full of crap.
Well, all right. If you'd like to chime in on any of this, you can find us on Facebook.
Or if you need us to point you in the direction of which Mormon church you should join.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll give you advice.
Yeah.
Just tell us what you want to believe, and we'll find the Mormon offshoot for you.
Yeah. And you can find us at facebook.com/TGIAtheist.
Or you can email us at podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
Or you could let your voice be heard and leave us a voicemail at 424-666-8442.
Yeah, sing a hymn.
Yeah. Remember to find our videos on YouTube. There's going to be a new one hitting it if you haven't already seen it by this point.
And stay with us. We'll be back next week. One of the things we might be doing next week, by the way, is we got a lot of emails about our discussion last week about, and the week before about the atheist bench, what the atheist movement is about. I think we're going to continue that conversation.
We're going to follow that up. By that point, it'll also have been revealed. So it'll be a good point, too.
Okay. So we'll be talking about some of your emails. A lot of you make very interesting points. Yeah. So we'll be going through that.
Yeah, and thanks to the Red Rock Hot Club for letting us use their music.
And Sarah the intern.
Yeah, for being an intern.
for being Sarah.
Well, thanks a lot for listening, guys.
Take care.
Bye-bye.